This is going to be fun. Let's talk about the Detroit Red Wings. My favorite hockey team, who was riding really high a couple weeks ago, has fallen back down to earth. They're on a 6-game losing streak after a 6-game winning streak that was capped off with one of the most talked about moments of the season.
It's Patrick Kane in Chicago! Oh my God! Kane with the overtime winner!
Spanked by Florida, spanked by Arizona, spanked by Colorado, spanked by Buffalo last night. What the hell is going on? Now, for anyone who knows me, you know I am a very positive person, right? I always look for the positive side of things. I never want to be too negative. I never want to be, that guy that's just always upset and angry and yelling and screaming and crying and shitting his diapers over my team. But, yeah, the last few days, the last couple weeks, it sucked. I hated it. I don't want to see this again. And hey, this is going to be a somewhat positive video. Obviously, it's not all going to be positive, but somewhat positive. In a couple weeks, if this continues, I will go full Steve Dangle. Now, at no point have I been, super confident the Wings were going to be a playoff team. At no point was I like, they did it! Finally, the streak is over. We can head on into the playoffs and get, bounced in round 1. But whatever, at least we made it. At no point was I, super confident they were going to make it. I did not see a collapse this quickly happening. And it's not just that they're collapsing. Teams like the Islanders, the Sabres, the Capitals, they're all playing very well, getting a ton of points and gaining ground very quickly. In fact, Detroit's officially out of a playoff spot as of this morning. From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, which actually happened this morning as well. Somehow they put up more fight in this one practice than they did in the last 6 games combined. Lucas Raymond and Ben Sherratt getting into it. Obviously, they are frustrated. The team has to be frustrated, but there's been a real lack of effort, or what seems like it, over the last few games. So the players who are frustrated, maybe the ones trying, but Ben Sherratt was out there on the ice for 4 first-period goals, technically 5. And all I'm reading online is doom and gloom, and I'm feeling it myself. However, this is a team 2 weeks ago that put up 8 goals on the Washington Capitals, a team chasing them in the playoff race. And we're in a playoff spot by about 10 points on all other teams. They were first in the wild card above Tampa, and yeah, the captain goes down, he gets hurt, and you need to show a little bit more fight and a little bit more leadership on the team, but the season's not over. Does this suck? Yeah. Oh yes, it sucks, and especially as somebody who has people who watch them, and we talk hockey all the time, and people want to know my thoughts on the Detroit Red Wings, and they want to poke fun, which is definitely fair. It's a frustrating situation. After this game against the Washington Capitals, Detroit lost 6 in a row. 5-3 to the Islanders in a game that really wasn't that bad for Detroit, it wasn't a terrible effort. A 4-0 loss to the Florida Panthers, where, Florida's probably going to make the Stanley Cup final, and they're going to be a really hard team to play against. You got to do better than that. They did not look good at all in this game, but Florida is a really good team. The good news for Detroit is that they had Colorado next, and they lost 7-2. So, not much of a better effort there, although, again, a really good team, probably a Stanley Cup favorite. This one, I can't explain. I don't know how you go into Arizona in a must-win situation at this point. You've lost 3 in a row already at this point. You need to pick up as many points as possible, and you get blanked by Arizona, and the effort in that game was absolutely non-existent. Then you're in Vegas, travel. I think Vegas is on a back-to-back here. Vegas absolutely plays their ass off in the first period. Detroit does play better in the final 2, but not enough to come back in that game, though they may have deserved a point. Really unlucky bounces in the final period and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you still gave up 5 goals to the Vegas Golden Knights, and you're not going to win games by giving up 5 goals. And lastly, last night, the Buffalo Sabres absolutely ripped their heads off the Detroit Red Wings, threw them in a sewer, and celebrated on their carcass. So the line changes are coming. Coach Lalonde has said, you know what, that's enough. 6 games is enough. Let's put the team in the blender, and let's find some lines that work. Now, taking a look at the lineup, we have Perron with Comfer and Raymond on your first line. That's a recipe for success. Fabry, Kopp, DeBrincat, Rasmussen, Veleno, Kane, Berggren, Fisher, Sprong. Sherratt's back with Seider. That didn't go well last year, but let's see how that turns out. Wallman's playing with Ghost and Motto with Petrie. Justin Hall is your extra. Looks like Lyon's going to be starting. This is a game tomorrow night where they play against the Arizona Coyotes, who beat them 4-0. And this is a chance for them to turn it around. These lines might not instill a lot of confidence to a lot of people, but for some reason, I'm feeling very optimistic looking at this. Legitimately, this is not a joke. If Detroit can win tomorrow night's game against the Arizona Coyotes, they have a chance to turn around the end of the season blunders. The goaltending has come back down to earth. Alex Lyon obviously not going to continue that pace that he was on. But against a team like Arizona, who, yeah, you got spanked by 4-0 earlier in the week, if you can come back tomorrow night, put up a good effort, I'm talking about Alex Lyon here, if he puts in a good effort, Detroit ends up winning the game, maybe he gets some confidence back. That could go a long way. Yeah, they're falling off. Yeah, they've lost 6 straight, but the season is not over. They're not out of a playoff race. They're not, absolutely at the bottom of the standings. There's still 17 games left for them. And hey, if they can go on a heater like they did in February, there we go. Detroit's right back in it. If Detroit wins 10 of their final 17 games, they have a real shot at the playoffs. A couple other notable games that are happening tomorrow night. Tampa Bay's playing a Rangers team that is absolutely on fire, so if the Rangers can knock off Tampa, there we go. And the Islanders and the Sabres are playing. The one thing you need to hope, probably you want Buffalo to win that game, even though Buffalo's been playing amazing as of late, you want to keep the Islanders down. But you gotta hope and pray there's not a 3-point game there. You gotta hope that that game's not going to overtime, and with the way the Islanders play, it might be going to overtime. Philadelphia has the Leafs. Leafs, if they can win that one, really helps Detroit. And Washington, who's only 3 points behind Detroit, is playing the Seattle Kraken. So all of these games I'll definitely be keeping an eye on, and I'll probably be nervous the entire night with massive anxiety, and my wife will probably be wondering what the hell's going on. A win against Arizona tomorrow starts to turn the ship in the right direction. This 6-game losing streak sucks. Dylan Larkin's out. I get it. It sucks. But a Wings win tomorrow night, an Islanders loss, and a Tampa Bay loss, and Detroit's tied for the first wildcard spot. The race is extremely tight. The team is, frustrated, it looks like. Maybe they're going to show some heart tomorrow night. I'm a diehard Wings fan. It sucks seeing them play like this. Turn it around. Got to be in a better mindset.